My first encounter with Pastor Brian and Bobby was actually back in 2003 when I visited Hillsong Church in Castle Hill. I was 16 years old, and I pretty much went to Hillsong every week from that moment onwards. I found myself in my young 20s. I was in a highly abusive relationship. I was pregnant, had escaped an abusive relationship. So I'm back living with my parents. And the only thing that was giving me hope, the only thing that was giving me, I guess, a reason to live was the fact that I was pregnant. So I'm literally days away from giving birth. I'm full term, as they say. And I'm sitting down. I was just feeling my stomach and didn't really notice much movement. And to cut a long story short, I was taken to hospital. I went in to give birth, and unfortunately, my son, who I had placed, like I said, all of my hopes into, passed away at childbirth. So I ended up going into a season of grief, and I didn't have anyone really to lean on at this point because I was in such a messy situation. So I was in hospital for a couple of days. I ended up coming back to my parents' home where I'd set up, in the lead up to this, I'd set up a nursery. I'd got more baby clothes ready in the expectation of bringing home my new baby, my son. And I came home and everything had been packed up. My nursery clothes, everything had been put away. So I came home to an empty room. So I actually found myself sleeping on the floor because I didn't have enough energy to even make it onto a bed to sleep. And Hillsong actually sent a pastor who's now gone to be with the Lord, Pastor Serge, to officiate my son's funeral. And not only to officiate, but to support me in every single part of the journey, from the planning to being there on the day to then being there with me afterwards. I received daily phone calls from Hillsong to check in, just to say, how are you? We're praying for you. We're thinking of you. We're here for you. I literally went from sleeping on the floor to getting just enough energy to make it onto a service on Sunday and hearing Pastor Brian's messages, which gave me such hope, enough hope to just put one foot in front of the other to then make it back to church the following Sunday and back to church the following Sunday. Every message that he preached, as someone who has just lost pretty much everything for me at that point, is what actually allowed me, like I say to people, he saved my life. Because I literally had lost all hope. There was no reason for me to live because my reason was in my child, which I no longer had. So the messages of Pastor Brian gave me hope. And I know most people that know Pastor Brian know this message. He always says the best is yet to come. Well, that's not just a line or just a nice positive mantra. When you've lost everything, and you're in grief and someone prays and speaks over you, hey, the best is yet to come. Hold on, there's hope. Put your trust and hope in Jesus. That means everything. I'm married, I've got 3 kids. I have a 12-year-old, soon to be 13, who operates in the prophetic, who loves God, and she got saved in Hillsong. So they've not only impacted my life, but the generations that God has already started to bless me with, they've impacted those as well. And none of this could have just been done because they're nice people. It's the ministry and the anointing and the carrying that they have. Everything that I have done in connection with Hillsong, just being a part of them, going to their camps, going to their praise and worship nights, has resulted in fruit. So I want to be anywhere near wherever Pastor and Bobby and Brian are, because it's only going to bless me and my family, but importantly, bless everyone around me as well. So it's hard to really explain that when all you've known is their ministry for the last 22 years. Whatever season they step into ministry wise, you just want to continue to be under that leadership, under that guidance, under their anointing, because they carry such a heavy anointing that one can only really experience by being under their ministry and connected with their ministry.